That means both I love you and good morning. Well, maybe not good morning. Maybe it just means hello. And in this case, I suppose I do love you, but I really just wanted to say hello because we are going to talk about the places we go and love. And I am Stacy Julian, and I'm here because I want you to feel successful in capturing and sharing your story. And I want you to feel motivated and relieved, and especially relieved from all of the obligation and guilt that we as women tend to carry around with us about all of our pictures, okay? So let's talk about places. Places we go and love are often engraved in our mind and our heart as essential backdrops to some of our most important memories. Think about it, from a childhood home to a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Paris. It doesn't matter. Places are important, and I want you to start scrapbooking. Let's start talking about, well, I brought some pages from my own scrapbooks, and I want to share them with you. So let's talk about home for a minute, because really we do love to go places. I love having the spirit of adventure and going, but it is home where most of our memories are created. So my family recently, and when I say recently, you know, I'm getting old, so time flies. So 5-6 years ago, built a home that we hope to live in for a very long time. And my husband really was the detail man when it came to just figuring out, you know, working with what are those guys called? Construction worker guys, to plan the home. And then I, of course, got to pick all the colors for the walls. But I created a layout about our home. And you know what I'm going to ask you to do? I'm going to ask you to start a file of pictures of just your home. It doesn't matter when they're taken, different times and places. You put them together in your little home file. Then you can go back after a couple years or a couple months, whatever, and you can find a collection of pictures about your home. You can do this on your computer. You can tag them with a keyword, or you can do them with physical prints. It doesn't matter. But what happens when you go back is magic, because you will have pictures of your homework table. And that's me in the laundry room doing laundry, and the garage, and us eating dinner, and the backyard. And those are all scenes in and around our home that matter. I want you to scrapbook your home. Okay? And, oh, one more thing I should show. Look at all the different places there are journaling on this page. You can sit down at your computer and scrapbook, you know, write a couple lines. Look at this sloppy handwriting. You should totally be using your sloppy handwriting. And over here, I took a piece of transparent, I think it's just called transparent paper, and I sewed it to the foundation page. And inside, I tucked in another picture of our home. And I wrote right with a Sharpie marker right on top of the picture, and it says, "My new office goes here," because there's now a little office there that extends off the house. This was kind of fun too. I tucked in this little homework assignment that was given to my son Chase when he was, I think it was a sophomore, and he had to describe what he hears, sees, feels, smells, and tastes, and he connected them all to memories of home. And so that's a great thing to tuck in that pocket as well. Okay? So scrapbook your home. It matters. All right, the next page I'm going to show you is a page. It's kind of weird, actually, but I like it. Oh, yeah, it's right there. So, and cameraman Rick, did I forget to say good morning to you guys? Hi, guys. Good morning. Nice to be here again. I should just stop and say how totally fun this is to be in my super cute little studio with my cameraman. It's awesome. All right, so I travel a lot with scrapbooking. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Cameraman Rick is going to put a picture of this up on the screen because I'm going to read you this journaling that's tucked behind that photo right there, okay? It says in 1999, our family moved to the inland Northwest. Shortly after making this move, I began working and traveling in the scrapbooking industry. Ta-da! At first, I traveled only to Utah for meetings and to the Midwest to film segments for a PBS show. Now, 10 years later, I look back on experiences that have taken me all across the United States and to faraway places that I never dreamed I would see. I've been to Africa, Australia, New Zealand, England, and even Japan. Each time I travel to a new destination, I come home more able to see and appreciate the beautiful place in which we live. Several years ago, as I returned home, I drove out of our airport in Spokane and I noticed this "Welcome to the Inland Northwest" sign. My heart swelled with gratitude and I had that undeniable feeling that I was home. It took me another several years to pull over on the side of the road and take this picture, but I finally did it. I definitely have the spirit of adventure. I love to go and experience new places, but I've gone away enough and experienced enough that I now anticipate and treasure the amazing feeling of coming home again. Now, here, I was going to show you this too, a little tip. Here's your little big tip. Okay? So, I do this a lot. You've probably seen me do this, but you just take a scrap piece of paper. You got to get yourself a tab punch, and you grab a tab, you fold it over, you staple it to an additional piece of cardstock, see that? And then that's what you can slip behind a photo or just behind your page in a page protector that gives you room to write those kind of stories that matter. All right, I think I want to show you this page next. Because at my house, I have actually albums that are called Places We Go. There's a section for my home, pages and feelings about home. And then I have a section for, I think I call it Around Town. Yeah, Around Town. But I grew up in these two little towns in outside Seattle called Bothell and Kenmore. And I went home after I'd been away for a while, and that's when the nostalgia usually strikes. And so I started taking pictures of just like stores and the little air harbor and just little things that were familiar to me growing up. And I took those pictures. Well, not long after that, this, by the way, is the dairy that my mom used to send me to get milk. And I was so excited when I got my license because I could drive to the dairy. But anyway, several years later, my parents moved from those two towns. And so now when we go home to visit our parents, I don't go to these homes. And I'm so glad that I took these pictures and I could make just this crazy collage of things that were familiar to me about my home. And you can do that too, and you probably should. Okay, if you can still go back to your hometown, go back and take pictures. Then on a separate trip, I took my mom back and I told her I wanted to go to the Hillcrest Bakery because that was the place that she would go and buy cookies and bread and yummies if we had done something good. Maybe I had swam well in my swim team meet, or I just got a good grade on a paper, then I would get cookies. And speaking of cookies, I hate to interrupt this show, but I'm kind of hungry right now. Christine, do we have any cookies? Like bakery cookies? Yeah, see? The magic of TV. Just gonna just take a bite of a cookie. Yeah. That is good. Not quite as good as the Hillcrest Bakery, but that's good. You can scrapbook these kind of places because your memories reside here. And it's fun. You should do it. I don't know if I was going to tell you something about that, but I think we'll just go to the next page. And then there's faraway places. There's around town, there's home, there's around town, and then there's faraway places. Those are the three kind of categories that I'd like you to focus on when you're scrapbooking places. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the overwhelm of coming home from a once-in-a-lifetime trip where you have 1,000 pictures, easily 1,000 pictures. And, you dream that you're going to come home and make this big, beautiful travel album, and it's going to have all these elaborate pages, and that's just probably not super realistic. And so what I like to do is come home and pick maybe 2 or 3 images that capture where I was and why I was there. So this is Australia, New Zealand, and it was a scrapbooking event. And then I can just add snippets of journaling. That page can go inside my Places We Go album and remind me that I traveled to Australia and New Zealand. And then, what I do with the best of the hundreds of pictures, and we're going to talk much more about photo album scrapbooking, is I go to Target and I get me a photo album. And you can get them other places besides Target, but Target is the best. Okay. And then you can just do all kinds of things with these inexpensive albums to like customize them and make them your own. So I just added my title page, stitched through those sticker letters because otherwise they weren't going to stick to like the fabric. Okay. And then look at this, like there's no cropping, there's no major design. It's just so easy to put pictures that you took of the places you've been in a photo album. And every now and then you can crop a photo and add a little bit of pattern paper here or there. But it's so super easy and it's so super freeing. You can totally do it. Okay? So I want you to let go of the guilt and the obligation to all of those pictures. And remember to embrace the freedom to do something with some of your pictures. And when you do, you will have a lot more fun. And I am going to have another bite of cookie.